Title: Who Killed Gaddafi's Son? Inside Libya's Hidden Power Struggle. Sit up, subscribe and watch to the end as we dive into this one. Libya woke up in silence before dawn on Tuesday, February 3, 2026. In the mountain town of Zintan, while most people were still asleep, four masked men moved quietly toward a guarded residence. They did not rush. They did not panic. They knew exactly what they were doing. One after the other, they disabled the security cameras. The house went blind. Minutes later, gunshots rang out, short and controlled. When it was over, Saif al-Islam Gaddafi was dead. He was 53 years old. For more than a decade, Saif al-Islam Gaddafi had lived like a shadow. After the violent fall and killing of his father, Muammar Gaddafi, in 2011, Saif disappeared from public life. Libya fell apart, and he vanished into the custody of armed groups in Zintan. Some called it imprisonment. Others called it protection. Over the years, he appeared only in rumors, court documents, leaked videos, and political whispers. He became Libya's greatest ghost. Saif was not an ordinary son of a dictator. He was educated in the United Kingdom. He spoke calmly. He wore suits. He talked about reform, democracy, and change. For a time, the world listened to him. Western governments believed he could help modernize Libya. Many Libyans hoped he would be different from his father. But when the uprising came in 2011, everything changed. Saif appeared on television and threatened protesters with rivers of blood. In that moment, many people realized that no matter how polished he looked, he was still defending the same system. The same violence. The same fear. After Gaddafi's fall, Libya did not become free. It became broken. Militias replaced the army. Guns replaced the law. Different governments claimed power at the same time. Foreign countries interfered. Oil money funded conflict instead of development. Today, Libya has an estimated 20 million firearms for a population of just 7 million people. In such a country, power does not come from elections alone. It comes from who controls force. Saif al-Islam survived all these years not because he was safe, but because he was useful. To some militias, he was leverage. To some politicians, he was a threat. To others, he was a possible solution. He represented the past, but also a possible future. Some Libyans believed that bringing back a Gaddafi could restore order, even if it meant sacrificing justice. As Libya moved closer to the planned 2026 elections, Saif's name became dangerous again. He had already announced political ambitions in the past. Despite being wanted by the International Criminal Court, despite the crimes linked to his family, he still had supporters. Not because people loved him, but because many were tired of chaos. Tired of endless fighting. Tired of weak leadership. That made him an obstacle. On the morning after his death, conflicting stories emerged. Family sources claimed he was killed near the border while trying to escape. Others said he was assassinated inside his residence in Zintan. Forensic reports later confirmed gunshot wounds at the house. The truth became clearer: this was not an accident, not a random attack, not street violence. It was a professional operation. The men who carried it out left no message. No claim of responsibility. No video. Just silence. Investigations quickly focused on two main possibilities. The first was local militia rivalry. Zintan's armed groups had protected Saif for years, but protection always comes with conditions. As alliances shift, a protected man can become a burden. If Saif's presence threatened internal balance or external negotiations, removing him could have seemed like the safest option. The second possibility was far bigger and more troubling. That Saif was eliminated as part of a wider political decision. That powerful national actor saw him as too dangerous to allow into the next phase of Libya's future. That instead of risking protests, instability, or an election shock, someone chose a quicker solution. In Libya, justice has often worn a mask and carried a gun. For ordinary Libyans, the reaction to Saif's death has been mixed. Some feel relief. To them, he symbolized oppression and unpunished crimes. Others feel anger, believing he was denied a fair trial. Many feel numb. After years of war, death has become normal. But one thing is clear, Saif al-Islam's death does not fix Libya. There is still no unified army. There is still no trusted police force. There is still no strong national identity. His death removes a symbol, not the system that created him. And systems do not die easily. This story is not only about Libya. It is about Africa. Across the continent, many nations have been shaped by strongmen who ruled for decades. Power became personal. Institutions were weakened. When those leaders fell, the state collapsed with them. Their children inherited names, not legitimacy. Promises of reform were crushed by the weight of history. Saif al-Islam Gaddafi is a warning. You cannot inherit authority in a broken system. And you cannot escape the violence you once defended. Since his assassination, Libya has not exploded into open war. But silence does not mean peace. It means people are watching. Waiting. Measuring strength. Power vacuums never stay empty for long. Someone will step in. The question is whether Libya will finally choose institutions over individuals, law over guns, and memory over revenge. Saif lived as a ghost. He died as a secret. No trial. No closure. No national healing. Just another chapter closed with bullets instead of truth. If you want more clear, honest stories like this, take a moment to subscribe and stay with us. Africa's story deserves more than headlines. It deserves understanding.